right now. Right now. No, I didn't get drunk at lunch. I got drunk at happy hour, actually. Okay? Nobody... This is a great start to the stream. Can I hear myself? Oh, I can hear myself. I don't like that. I don't like that. Alright, hold on. You guys aren't meant to see half of the stuff in my background. Hold on one second. Let's turn off the light. Oh, God, it's dark in here now. It's dark. Oh, no. What have I done? I should have thought about this, because this may be, like... This stream may be the, like, one to define my art career. I started off completely drunk and with my room in absolute chaos, I will tell you. We're going to turn off the camera for just a moment, okay? No video, just audio. You can hear me? I don't know if you can, but I certainly can. And that's a problem. Alright. So, basically, what we got going on... I gotta plug some things in, hold on. Excuse me, I'll be right back. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on right now, dude. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It's just been happening. I don't know. I'm talking to somebody who's not in the room with me right now. But what's new? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So basically, where did it go? Oh, Lord. Where is it now? There it is. Alright. I was being very lazy today, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I actually wasn't being lazy. I actually got a lot of stuff done. And I went to work, and I did some other things. Came back from work, but you guys don't need to know about that. You guys need to know, what am I watching this damn stream for? And I'll tell you, honey. I'll tell you, sweetheart. We're gonna get into it. I gotta go find the internet. I gotta go find the web. You guys ever... Hold on, let me turn on the camera now. Ooh, that's me. Hello. You guys ever, you ever get like one of these, it's like a little like cologne thing, and you're just sitting in your room, but you're like, oh, now I smell good. I'm gonna be smelling good the rest of the stream. That's what I'm talking about. Hold on, I gotta plug in the mouse. I gotta close the door. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Alright. This is gonna be hilarious. So, I'm here. You're here. Let's go. Basically what I've been doing. Okay, so to give you guys context, I've mentioned to a couple people, not everybody, but just like, you know, a couple people about my residency in España. Now, okay. Sorry, I got an email that I was reading for no reason. Let's go to this one. Different keyboard. Different keyboard, different thing. Where to go? What's his name? Stack. Okay. So I have a Substack as well, which I could link, or I could just not do anything. Which is an option that I probably will be taking right now. But what am I doing? Where's my drafts? So basically, excuse me. So I am going to be going to Spain in January. Very exciting. I've never been to Europe, number one, but that's not the only reason that I'm going. I'm going for an artist residency where I will have the time and space to really sit down and think about my project. Okay, so I've had this idea that I've been developing for a good, I want to say, I think I probably started started the idea in June of this year, 2025. Basically following, well, it all started from a dream, as most of my ideas come from. I'm plagued with these demonic thoughts and all that. And basically, I had this one dream that I actually, I have it written down right here. I don't even have to, I don't even, my hair is great. I don't even have to guess what I'm saying. I can just read it. Now reading's a whole other issue, but we're not going to get into that. Sorry, I'm reading. Give me 1 sec, okay? I had a dream in the middle of the summer last year where I had brought my camera up to my face. You know cameras, right? I don't think it's in here, but I brought my camera up to my face in this dream, okay? And I was able to see into the ultraviolet light spectrum, or at least beyond what humans can see, right? So, you go from red to purple, or red to violet. We went above that. And then there was a little bit of an aspect of, I felt like I was seeing into time. Like I was seeing, some people say that the fourth dimension is time. So, it was a dream. All right, so just hear me out on that. Okay, so my camera had the ability to do this, and that I would look into the camera and then I'd be able to see things in this fourth dimension. Okay, and there were some little creatures. Hold on, that's on. There's some little creatures in that thing that I could see, and that got me interested. I'll tell you, it got me very interested because I've always been interested in the supernatural. I've been interested in things that are not of this world because I'm just curious and I'm bored and this is life. So, I can discover whatever the hell it is I want to discover with my life, and hopefully somebody will pay me money to do that eventually one day. And that's why I'm doing this right now. So basically in the dream I could see that, and I don't know if I somehow invented this technology in the dream or if it was already a technology or whatever the fuck, right? So that was sort of the beginning of this thought, this idea. And now, as I've kind of moved forward, I've been doing some random things, I've been meeting people, making friends, doing some other stuff. I started to think about it, okay? And specifically on this day that I had the dream, like the morning after, I was thinking like, Hmm. What? Oh, number one, what creatures could exist within that time and space? Okay. Now, you guys have heard of if you're European, or you know fairies, or not European necessarily, but European descended fairies, or there's ghosts, or whatever else. But in Middle Eastern folklore, there's these creatures called jinn, or genies. If anybody's seen the Aladdin Disney movies, either the one with Robin Williams or Will Smith, as they're both genies in their own films. Um, Basically, that was like I don't know why I got so interested in it. It was weird. I don't even remember why I got so interested in it, or where it even came from. But I got very interested in genies. And okay, this ooh, I gotta get this smell off of me. It's a little bit too much, actually. Anyway, I shouldn't have put it on my neck. I should have put it anyway. Woo! we're gonna get through the stream, I swear. Anyway, so basically, I got really interested in it because I was reading a thing about them, about so in the Quran there was, or the for those who don't know, the holy book in Islam, yeah, is the Quran. uh they the story is that God, or Allah, however you want to face it, created everything, right? So he created, um well, I guess he was, I don't know about he anyway, he was there. It made the angels, made the jinn, or genies, and then made humans. So that, like, that kind of hierarchy scale there. So him on top, angels, jinn, and obviously there's probably something else in the between that, but I didn't do that much research. But anyway, so we go on, and so the way that they are described in the Quran is basically, they have, so humans. Hold on, let me look this up. Just wait. I actually have this written down. Hold on. Let me find it. Here. Where is it at? So humans are supposedly created with, okay, so humans component. I found it right here. I found it. Humans components created by Allah are clay, representing the elements of the earth, a drop of fluid, in this case it would be sperm, because that's how eggs or whatever, and then a soul is breathed into them from Allah. So that's the idea of how humans are made. Okay, now for jinn or genies, however you want to refer to them, are I mean, all right, I don't have actually all the info here. I probably was just as drunk as I am right now. I'm not actually that drunk. I only had 2 glasses of wine, I swear. What are the components of jinn? So, this is according to Google. According to Islamic belief, God created angels out of light, humans from clay and mud, and jinn from smokeless fire and flame. Okay, now that sounds intriguing, huh? It sounds intriguing to me. I didn't even know about the angels out of light thing, so that's something else I gotta look up. But anyway, oh my gosh. Oh, I gotta get this stuff off of me. Oh. What am I doing? And so basically, we did the smokeless fire thing kind of was a little bit intriguing to me, because I'm like, what could that be? Because it's such a specific thing. You know, you could just be like, oh, it's just I don't know. Smokeless fire is like nothing that I can think of. Because I'm pretty sure all fire that I'm aware of has some sort of smoke. So that's somewhere to start. That's somewhere to explore. Okay. Um, and so I don't know. That's somewhere to explore, right? So then, where was I going with this? Oh, the back to the ultraviolet light. Since they're in a different. Wait. I know where I am now. Sorry, I just watched the audio like boost all the way up. Um, the so apparently, what the jinn can do is um, they exist in their own dimension, but they can also cross over into our dimension and back and forth and do their own thing. Now I thought that was interesting. Back to the camera thing of taking a photograph of that, um, and so we can sort of explore into that and what that means and all stuff like that, right? So basically, excuse me. I would like to know more. I would like to experiment with that. I want to understand what this smokeless fire thing is. Okay, so that's the I did more kind of research into other things, specifically about hold on. So I was thinking about the ultraviolet spectrum. Okay, I was thinking about how light can be. I'm having ideas as we're talking here, but light can be seen. Okay, so I can see something up until a certain threshold, so that violet. But something that stood out to me, I thought about how we can see light. So there's specific animals that can see above what we can see at the or humans can see at the ultraviolet level. So specifically, there's a few so birds like hummingbirds, other birds like that where they feed off of pollen from plants. I think there's dogs and cats. I think can see that. I might be wrong, so don't take my word for that. But um, I've seen my cat in the hallway staring at something for way too long, and I'm like, what are you seeing over there, little animal? There's stuff like that. Bugs, they have their own whole thing. But basically, what stood out to me is like why they would need to see things like that. And I thought about it. I said, okay, let's talk about it. And my thought is that why do they need to see that? Is because of the pollen, specifically for the birds and the bugs, is the bees. Get it, birds and the bees. The birds and the bugs can see the pollen that come from flowers or come from plants because that's what they eat. Okay, and I think okay, let's look at the pollen. What is the pollen? Um, and pollen essentially is sperm that comes from the tree. So if we think about that, and then we go back to this thing that Allah created humans from clay, a drop of fluid meaning sperm, and a soul breathed into them. It could be the same thing that it's sperm. Okay, so where I'm going with this is that if you get a black light, so a light, I think I had one at one point, but it's escaped my clutches. But anyway, this pollen, if you get a black light, so like a purple light, and you shine it onto a flower or something like that, it's going to light up. I believe it's going to be kind of like a yellow. Let me look that up. Hold on, make sure they're right. Pollen under black light. Pollen under black light. Yellow, kind of yellow, purple. It depends on the plant. But most of the time it's like, it glows is really what I'm saying here. Sometimes green as well. And I thought about, okay, what other things, since this is essentially sperm, I was thinking about it. So for humans, almost every single one of humans' bodily fluids glow under black light. I'm hoping you guys are understanding where this jump that I'm taking here. Essentially, what I'm saying is that I think that my idea is that there is something holy within this kind of stuff. And so this sort of, I pivoted, and I started thinking about blood. I don't know why I said it like that, but I did. I started thinking about blood because blood, immediately when I think of things under blacklight, I know that a lot of for crime scene investigation, you ever watch Dexter or some of these other, gory TV police TV shows. They always have they shine the black light to see where all the blood is or whatever, and it's all over the room and all this stuff. But it glows. Hold on, I'm just gonna. My Google search history is gonna be horrible here. Blood under black light. Blood under black light. It kind of glows a bit of a green, we'll say. Okay. Oh my God! All right, I should not. I searched semen as well, and that was not a good idea. Anyway, oh my God, I'm glad I'm not showing that on the screen. Oh, you can sort of see my screen back there, but anyway, I just started to think about it. Okay, so I sat there for a while. I got all these ideas. I kind of played around with them for a little while, and then I just sat there. I was like, okay. I started to think about the spiritual side because back to the religious part, the Quran part of this is that why what if bodily fluids and also flowers and everything glow under black light, all of these things have the same things. And I looked up. Well, actually, no, I didn't look up. I have a friend who's actually a phlebotomist, which is a person who works with blood, I believe. Let me just make sure I know what the phlebotomist before I start talking about her. But phlebotomist. What? Phlebotomist. Phlebotomists draw blood with the purposes of test, research, or donations. They help patients who are anxious before blah blah blah. So a person who works with blood, essentially. And she was saying that almost every single animal on Earth, with the exception of, almost every single animal on Earth, every what's the one with what's the spine thing? The hold on, I gotta look this up. What am I doing? What am I doing right now? With the exception, what is it called? I'm trying to think of spined animals name. What is it called? What is it called? No, not that kind of spine. Vertebrates. Every single vertebrate animal, all of their blood glow under black light. I think. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Okay, yes. Anyway, every single one of them glow under black light. With the exception of one fish that's in the Arctic, but that was an interesting thing that was sort of just a side quest on this. But anyway, I just thought that was... I was thinking about the spiritual side of this. So, like, God, Allah, however you want to refer to them, created these things, and almost every single one has a spine. The fetuses almost always look the same when they're first being formed. Like, they have like a kind of same shape. Like, you can't really tell a dolphin between a human or a dog between a elephant. I don't know. Anyway, just like right at the beginning. So we all have the same sort of beginning code or whatever. So I'm thinking, like, okay, why does that happen? I swear all of this makes sense eventually. So I'm thinking, why does this all happen spiritually? Why does it happen? If we're all created by the same being, why do they have the same blueprint? Why did they choose to give us spines? Why did they give us blood? All this other stuff was sort of floating around in my head. So I'm thinking, okay. So then I thought about that for a while, and then I put it down, and I forgot about it for a little while. Okay, so that's the beginning part of this story. Now, I go into a couple months go by, and I'm thinking, I'm having conversations with people. I'm meeting a lot of new people, and I keep noticing something. This is completely unrelated. It will be eventually related again, but right now it's completely unrelated to what we were originally talking about. I'm talking to a bunch of people, and I'm realizing that not a lot of people, at least people from their like, I want to say teens to honestly 30s. A lot of people from their teens, and I get it, that's like, you're kind of beginning your life, you don't really know. But a lot of these people don't have confidence in themselves. And I thought, this is a crisis. I thought it was a crisis of confidence, because I see people who could be so amazing, but they just can't let themselves. And I was one of those people. And some days I still am. I'll tell you that right now. I'm still one of those people some days, but not all days. I'll tell you that. I'm feeling good a lot of days. So I'm like, what can I change that? That was kind of a big question for me. Is, can I do something to make other people confident? Now, I've had a lot of people that I've talked to try to, like, help them figure themselves out, how to do whatever, with the end goal of them being able to play with me. I feel like in the last, like, 3 years, I've kind of made this jump into confidence, like self-confidence, that like, there was this kind of time where I realized that not that many people are actually up here. Like there's like a sort of maybe I don't want to call it up because that would imply that I'm better than them, which I don't really want to do. It's more there's a gap. There's a gap, like far further ahead in the race or whatever you want to call it. That's probably not a better way to say it, but whatever. Just listen to me. Um, the gap. So I made the jump over the gap, and I got through that, and then I realized that there are significantly less people who are confident than there are than there are people who are confident. And I said, that's a tragedy. We gotta do something about that. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, just because, it's lonely up here. I was lonely before. I was lonely before. I was like, man, nobody wants to be my friend. I suck. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wait, I want people to be my friend now. So I jumped. I said, okay, let's go over there. Let's see what's going on over there. I made it over there. People want to be I mean, people don't go out of their way to be my friend most of the time, unfortunately, which I hate. Some of y'all better show the fuck up sometimes. But I want more people to play with. I want more people to have fun with. And so, over the years, trying to help people, trying to understand people, I've just been watching how people move and how people do things. And I'm thinking like, okay, how can we do this? So I've tried the method of telling them what they need to do. Telling them what they need to do in order to do this. Most of the time, people are not going to follow that. They're not going to be like, oh, I should do this, and then, oh, you know what, you're right, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take this step, and take this. You can't do that. Especially with life and how feelings and emotions go. You can't do that. It's just not how things work. Like I think with the internet and growing, I mean, at least in this generation, I'm assuming in previous generations and maybe all the way down to the beginning of humanity, I think people always think we think in binary, where okay, we do A, and then that leads us to B, and then B leads us to C, and all the rest. But then I guess I can. This is a new idea I'm coming up with right now. I think why piano keys are a thing is because that's how humans think. That's how people actually think. So if we let me see if I can pull up a piano. Hold on. Piano keys. I'm gonna pull up a piano key. Oh, here, perfect. Hold on. Let me find it. All right, this is gonna be kind of a conflicting pattern here, but we're just gonna work with it for a second, okay? So we got piano keys here, right? Okay. So usually, like if you're giving somebody directions, okay, it's gonna be, we're gonna go from A. I'm gonna move my face out of the way. We're gonna go from A to B, and then we got to get to C. I think that there's a C on this side as well, but we're just humor me. A to B, and then after B, we're gonna get to C, and then D, and then E. But realistically, why the black keys are here is because that's how the black keys are the emotions that get in the way. And that's why there's always these major, I don't really know too much about how pianos work. I've just sort of messed around with them myself, but the sharps, I think that's B sharp or A sharp or whatever. We sort of stumble over things in order to get different places, okay? And so telling somebody exact step-by-step things to do in life specifically most of the time won't work. Sometimes some people get it. like immediately. But other people, not so much. They stumble over these keys and they make the and all that kind of stuff. That happens, right? But so I was thinking, okay, what are some other options? What are some other things that we can do? And so that's what this residency is going to be about. I think it's the residency is going to be about finding a way to do it. It's going to be finding a way to the word subliminally, I can't even say it. Subliminally it is sort of comes to mind. Essentially, how do you trick somebody into feeling good about themselves? Because you can't tell them, because that kind of ruins the magic of it almost. You know, I've had friendships, I've had relationships where people just like, you know, you give them everything that they need and they still won't take it. And but if somebody else gives them something they need, or if they find the exact thing that you were suggesting, but they find it in their own way, or if they just happen upon it, then it works. They figured it out. Let me do it. We do it this stuff here. They find it immediately, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense now. So, what I'm going to be making is that thing that they find. You know, some people will call this trickery. Oh, he's trying to trick me into feeling good about myself. Ah, you know. But you know what? I'm gonna use deception. I don't care. I don't care if it's gonna benefit you. Who cares if I tricked you? You're having a good time. And I get it like a certain pleasure out of it too. I think I'm like, oh, I got you. Look at you. You're having a good time because of what I did that you didn't know about. I really like that. I kind of find that hilarious and very awesome and very fun. So that's sort of I just realized I'm like yelling. Anyway, so that's sort of what I want to do. Now, there's still about just under 2 months. Yeah, just under 2 months until this residency happens. So I still got a little bit of time to kind of figure out that last step into it. Now, I think we're gonna go back. We're not gonna go back. I'm gonna talk about another little step here. Okay, so talking about tricking somebody into believing in themselves or doing something like that. So the story of Prometheus. I'm sure if anybody, I don't even know if there's anybody watching right now. But if somebody's watching this in 5, 10 years, 20, oh, there's 4 people. Hello, 4 people. Anyway, actually 3 people because I'm one of those 4 people. Anyway, if somebody in 5, 10 years, all right, now there's 2 people. They found me. Anyway, 5, 10 years, find this video and they're like, okay, wait, sorry, I got distracted when I was saying. I just remember what I was talking about. Damn, what was I talking about? Oh, the story of Prometheus. Okay, so whoever is watching this, I'm gonna do a brief thing. You can look up Prometheus. You got Google. This is just for me. I don't want to have to keep saying this over and over again for myself. So basically, the story of Prometheus. So Prometheus is a Greek Titan god. Titan god from the ancient Greek mythology. So Zeus is a character in this story. Zeus, in this case, he tasked Prometheus. Prometheus, I already said who he is, so you guys know. He tasked Prometheus to create humanity. And so what Prometheus did was got the clay. He got the clay and he and did some other things and created humanity. That was a bit of a reference to the frickin' to the other thing. So um so he created humanity, and then Zeus wanted the humans to be subservient to him because he was the king of the gods. He was on Mount Olympus. He was a ruler, a king. Um, and Prometheus made these guys, these human little things, little creatures running around, and Prometheus was like, also, I want to point something out. This is also important to the story for some reason. Prometheus's name means forethought. So thinking about something before it happens, or yeah, thinking about something before. His brother's name was this is kind of unrelated, but his brother's name is Abametheus. I might be wrong about that, but whatever it is, it means afterthought. He helped create other things related to humanity, but that's not very important to what I'm talking about. I just figured the pro forethought was important. Anyway, so Zeus wanted them to be subservient to him, and Prometheus was like, "No, I'm good. I'm seeing potential with these guys. I want to see what they can do." And Prometheus, wanted to give them as much as they could to thrive and become whatever it is their destiny is, right? And Zeus was like, "No, we're not doing that." And I'm like, "Zeus, are you serious right now?" And Zeus was like, "Yeah." And so he took away the element of fire. Do you guys realize? Let's realize something, okay? We need fire. Like, that was like one of our first inventions was fire. I guess inventions was fire, because we need fire to cook, we need fire to see in the night, and there's a lot of scary things in the night. You ever been in the night? You specifically, I'm talking about you. You ever been in the night and there's no flashlight or no fire? It's scary. There's doggies out there. There's big old bears and shit. I'm not doing that. And so Zeus took that away. And actually, well, there's more like Zeus. I there was more to it. Like there was a little like trickery that Prometheus did, trying to keep the fire away from them, yada yada yada, and it's something stupid. But anyway, regardless, Zeus took away the fire, so he brought it back up to Mount Olympus, and he did it for all humanity. So no humans had fire anywhere, and that's crazy. And so what Prometheus did, that sneaky little guy, he climbed all the way up Mount Olympus. He went all the way up Mount Olympus, and Hephaestus, the god of smiths, or the smith god, whatever he is, he has fire for his forge because he does blacksmithing and creating armor and weapons and other things. And Prometheus is like, "I'm gonna sneak in there and take this man fire," and so that's exactly what he did. So he took the fire. Okay, he took the fire, and then he brought it back down to humanity. And so where I want the story, or the artwork for the Residency that I'm going to make at the Residency is basically I want between him stealing the fire and him giving it to humanity. Okay? And so we were talking about confidence before, and by we I mean me. I was talking about confidence before. So what is the fire? I think in this case, in my little brain, I think that the confidence is that fire. So fire has become in modern times right now. As I said, I feel like confidence is very low in people. People don't as much believe in themselves because there are a billion different factors just in the world as it is right now. Um, and um, I'm curious to see what the world would look like, even if people were 5% more confident. Just see what 5% would do. That's kind of what I'm curious about. So, um, so I'm gonna figure out what it is it what is it that we can do. Is essentially what we're doing. So between him stealing the fire and him giving it to humanity, because I don't really want to make the after he gives it to humanity, because it's sort of they just go off and do their whole thing, and whatever. That's not what I'm looking for. I don't really the after effect is the after effect. This is the act of stealing the fire. And so that's essentially the thing. That's what I want to do. So we're gonna get back into the blood. We're gonna get back into the ultraviolet light thing here. So again, I had this idea, and then I let it go. I just sat down. I said, okay, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to work. I gotta go get some money. I gotta go do this. Gotta go do that. Um, gotta go have fun with my friends. Do stuff like that. And then recently, one of my favorite. I feel like I've been yelling this entire time, but that's okay. You guys can turn down the volume. I don't care. Recently, one of my favorite musical artists named D'Angelo. He was a soul artist from Richmond, Virginia. I grew up in Virginia, so it's very anyway. A soul artist from Virginia. Let me look up D'Angelo. Very popular in in the '90s, like late '90s, early 2000s. That's kind of one of his big thing was, and his music really. Discovered him when I was about, I want to say, probably 16 years old, maybe a little later. But anyway, I just immediately identified with his music because it made you feel something. It made you feel so the confidence. I don't know. I mean, it just felt so right. I don't know. It was in there. So, but there was this once after he died, there was a lot of people, and this was in the middle of October. Is when he died. October 14th, I think it said. Yeah, October 14th of this year. After he died, he was a little bit of a recluse. He had a lot of crazy things happen to him in his life and his career, so he kind of went away and he disappeared for a while. And he would reappear every once in a while, but after he died, I saw like a flood to social media about his music, his life, all this other crazy stuff, and then there was this one interview with one of his songs playing in the background. And the one interview was talking. Somebody asked him like what his inspiration or like where his music came from, and what he said was essentially the most inspirational, most important thing. I'm not saying this right. I'll have to look up the interview again, but the most powerful thing in life is love. And then the song in the background was the song called Africa. It's a majority of the song is about the let me look it up here. The majority of the song is about his son. Oh, I got pause here. The majority of the song is about his son, because I guess whenever this album was released, it was right around when his first son was born. And why this? I don't have kids. I'm not anywhere near that right now. But there was still something significant to me. So there was lyrics in the song. Should I share this? I guess I will. Where is the share? We're gonna switch to Spotify. So so basically, I'm gonna pause. These just set of lines right here are really what kind of stood out to me. So I was thinking, so what he's talking about is, he was singing, "The blood of God is my defense." I'm not gonna sing it because I'm not a singer. The blood of God is my defense. Let it drop down to my seed. It showers to your innocence and protect you for all eternity. Okay, and we're talking about blood again. We're back into the blood here. And that made me think about, like, just these four lines right here. Made me think about, like, faith and being protected by God in this way. And I think a lot of confidence is about feeling like you're safe. Because insecurity, the opposite of confidence is insecurity. And insecurity literally is, you're not secure, you don't feel safe. And so, how to get people to believe that they're safe? That's the hard part. So how do you tell, you can't tell somebody that they're safe. And not I mean, some people will believe that, but other people will be like, "I'm not safe. I don't believe you. I know all of these things happen in my life, so blah, 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 blah." So I sat down and thought about it. And also this since I'm a visual artist as well, this is important because the visuals that the blood of God is my defense, let it drop down to my seed. Obviously he's talking about the birth of his son, because he, you do the thing down to your seed, and anyway, you guys get that. But that was, I sort of got this, like, kind of beautiful visual of the blood of God, like actual blood coming down from the sky, but it's not in like a disgusting, like, Carrie kind of way, like Carrie, the movie, like the horror movie. It's more of a, like, you're almost like a baptism in blood. And I don't really know how to make that look not disgusting because you're being covered in blood, but it's the idea. We'll figure that out. Anyway, and then you're just kind of getting covered in, and then you're going down. It's going down the spine onto the rest of your body, and then it showers down, or showers to your innocence. So your innocence is in your core, in your heart, in your soul, and protects you for all eternity. Right? So you're good. You can be confident now because you're protected. You're safe. Now, faith can come in many, many, many different forms. Just look at any direction and you'll see people have, not only people, I mean, everything has a different perception on how life goes, and belief and protection or self-protection and everything like that. So, we could talk about. I mean, he grew up in the South, so it was like I'm may get this wrong. But I'm just gonna say I don't know if it was Baptist or what kind of church, but he grew up singing in a black church in the South. So there's very I guess not everybody know. Some of my viewers are from Canada. Some of my viewers are from not Middle East, New England, other things like that. So not everybody knows about this, but essentially, black churches in the South are very. They have so much soul. There's so much heart in them, and the culture behind that. I don't really remember what I was where I started in my mind, where I was gonna go with this, whatever I'm saying here, but he grew up with this, so his vision of God is that vision of God is a Christian God, I guess, Jesus Christ. Okay, for some other people it could be Allah. For some other people it could be option 3. So I'm not going to figure this out right now. It's going to come to me when I get to Spain or when I'm in Spain. But for now, that's what I want to find. I want to find something that is sort of a catch-all for that kind of feeling, how you obtain that sort of feeling. Okay? So we're going to go to switch it back to I'm going to bring it back to this one here. So that's sort of a catch-all for that feeling, and that's essentially what I want to do. Now, the visual of what I'm going to do, again, it could be with the blood of God. It could be some sort of, I don't know if I don't know how cheesy I want it to be, I want this to be something serious. I want it so D'Angelo here, going back to him for a second, he worked with a lot of artists, and one significant artist was Erykah Badu, who if you guys know her, you definitely should look her up if you don't. She's a very, soul artist, like meditation, chakras, all that kind of stuff, thinking about the body and all this other stuff, and that her working with him, that sort of made me think about all right, what could the visual look like for that? So I thought about he was talking about the blood of God goes down to my seed. I was thinking, all right, so the blood of God comes from above. I'm pointing upwards. That's what I'm doing with my hand here. The blood of God comes from above. I'll make my face a little bigger while I'm at it. The blood of God comes from up there and then goes down here all the way down the spine, going down the spine all the way down to his seed in this case, but it goes from one it goes all the way down. So it goes from his crown to the forehead, to the I think it's throat that's next, to the chest, to the gut, to the what, and then to the butt. You know what I mean? To the root, actually. It's not the butt. I'm just messing around. And so I'm like, okay, can we somehow do that? Can we sort of go in that direction? I mean, this one requires a little bit more thought, but that's essentially what I'm pushing for here. And yeah, that's pretty much the project. Now, I was gonna. I have my own. Okay, so for my style, my photography style, my art style, I like to have sort of a. I like to have a. What do you call it? A computer aspect to it. So like a computer screen. There's a screen right there. You can see the light coming off of it here on my hand. Anyways, the computer screen kind of feel to it. So I take a photo. I will create an image or take a photograph, and then I will put that onto the computer screen, and then I'll take a photo of the screen. And you can kind of see the pixels and do this other thing. So it exists within that world. And why I do that is because I'm looking at this thing all freaking day. So, and I know millions or even billions of other people are also doing that. So why not make it look like that? Because that's like kind of telling of the times right now. We're all looking at pixels and these different lights and everything like that. I think my next step, because I didn't know that we're going back to the Allah created the angels out of light. I didn't know that, and I also have a little bit of a research thing with that, but I'll get into that another day. Uh, what was I saying? Um, Damn, what was I saying? Can I go? Wait. Let me go back to the stream. I also have a little bit of a research thing with that, but I'll get into that another day. Like that, because that's like kind of telling of the times right now. We're all looking at pixels and these different lights and everything like that. I think my next step. Okay, all right. I don't know what the hell I was talking about. Anyway, hold on. I just had to watch back my own stream because I didn't remember what I was talking about. Oh man, I did not clean my bed at all. I just realized. But anyway, essentially, that's it. Essentially, that's what I want to do. So I should at some point, I'll probably watch back the stream for an hour and get the bullet points of like what I need to really talk about. But essentially that's it. We gotta make something out of that. Man, what was I saying actually? Let's go back. Going down the spine, all the way down the spine. That's pretty much the project. And so I'm like, okay, can we somehow do that? I don't know. What are we talking about, baby? Can we sort of hold on. Go in that direction? What direction? I'm watching my own video. I mean, this one requires a little bit more thought, but that's essentially. This is the vaguest thing. And maybe it's because I had no clue what I was talking about. Hold on. Is that, her working with him, that sort of made me think. All right, I don't know what the hell I was talking about. Anyway, oh man, I really lost that. I lost that track. I think I remember now. All right, everybody, skip to this exact moment. Going back to the UV photography, using the camera, using technology to find these different creatures, because I guess this is also something I personally have been kind of interested in, is the concept of a guardian angel. Now, there's belief. And then there's seeing things. Like the term "see it." I gotta see it to believe it. So I guess that was me. Like, all right, I want to see this guardian angel. I want to see a physical, something that I can look at with my own eyes and hopefully communicate with and talk to it and be like, hey, what's going on? What's going on, buddy? What's poppin'? You know what I mean? And so maybe using this camera, this UV camera, fourth dimensional kind of camera thing, sort of would help me do that. Anyway, that's basically that. Any questions? Any questions? There's no people watching. There's me watching. That's okay. I'm gonna do like a little outline of my dream, just for fun. We're just gonna do a little outline of the dream, okay? So, okay, everybody, if you're watching this now or if you're watching this in 5 years, I want you to really sit and think about it while I get this set up, okay? Check this out. Where is... I just need the one. Where is it? So, in this dream, I had this dream, okay? Y'all ever heard of dreams? Where you just take a brief second just to figure yourself out and be like, oh, okay, I don't know what just happened. This guy's been talking nonstop about some whatever. A whole bunch of whatever. So I'm going to grab one of, not that one, this one. I'm going to grab this one. Okay, copy. Paste. Stop texting me, I'm streaming. Okay, so in the dream, there was about 5, oops. In the dream, copy, paste. Let me make myself a little smaller. Let me make this a little bigger. Make me smaller. Thank you very much. Make this guy a little smaller. Okay, so in the dream, there were about 5 couples, okay? I was standing on a, hold on, actually, no, we're gonna put the couples in first. So there was 5 couples, and they were all dancing, and in the dream, they were all they had, every single one of them had their arms out like this. Had out, or more like this, and they were spinning like kind of crab claws. That's what I was thinking about. They had their arms like that, and they were jumping around, they were spinning around, and they were all going in a circle. So 1, 2, 3. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's a group of 5, and there was couples. There was multiple people, but oh, okay. Oh shit. How many are in there? Okay. I might be too lazy to do the couples, but in my mind, just believe me that there is 5, that there is 10 people here instead of what looks like to be this many. Okay. So the perspective was a little bit more like they were just above me. I don't know, something like that. Okay, so there was 5 of them. Okay, so now I'm going to grab just one of these. Which one is that? This one. I'm going to grab. I'm going to grab. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab that. And then we're going to go T. And then we're going to just go ahead and stretch this one out. So what I remember in the dream, and I'll have to pull up my phone for this. Artists like my post. Okay, cool. So this was it was in a Spanish plaza, as I put it. So essentially, so one. Let me copy this one. Copy, paste. Something like that. Something like that, okay? Maybe I'll move this over here just for fun. And then there was like, okay, so there's the floor. The floor is right. I'll make it just a square, even though it was more of a pentagon, but just humor me. So the floor was not pink, it was turquoise. I remember it was turquoise. And what does turquoise look like? I don't remember that. Like that? Maybe? Anyway. Come down here. Floor was turquoise. Distort. I'll just kind of make it shaped just a little bit. And there was a couple more edges to it, but I'm not doing that right now because I don't want to. Well, maybe I can. Hold on, check this out. Can I? Can I? I don't know. Anyway, that was that. There was this column. There was this column, which was there. There was this column, and then there was another one there. Okay, and then there was sort of like a driveway in between here and here, so the cars would go there. I guess I can make the kind of grayish floor for a driveway. Maybe I can just copy this actually. Duplicate layer. And there's sort of a driveway right here. And the driveway went up here and sort of stretched down this way. It's more flat right there. And then I'll just go ahead and copy and do this one again. Okay. That was about there, okay? That was there. Copy. It was actually a different color now that I remember. I remember the color was very significant to me in this dream. Anyway, so here is that. I'm going to shrink you down just a little bit. Shrink it down just a little bit. And then I remember that there was a... One more. Copy, paste. Over there, because it kind of went in. And then I remember that there was a... I don't even know what mahogany looks like, but the word mahogany came to me just for fun. Mahogany door. That was basically the right color, so we're gonna go somewhere near it. Go to brown. Essentially the right color. But it was a big mahogany door. See the height of these people, it was a huge door. Right? Big door. And it was, I think it was in the dream, it was closed. It was a closed door. but it was huge nonetheless, okay? So that's that. Oops. No. Go back. History. Okay. Huge door. So that was a driveway. We're going to make it a little bigger just for me. Okay. And then there were steps. So this was like the driveway was kind of going up on this ramp here, but then there was steps, and the steps were kind of more of a tan, like I don't know what sandstone looks like, but that was the word that came to me. Sandstone bricks. Well, we'll call it that also. That's close enough. We're going to go right about a little later. Not that late, though. Sandstone bricks, okay. Boom. Just going to make that a little smaller. There we go. And then copy, paste, just because it was steps. So we're just going to kind of do that. I don't think it was that high, but just, we'll do 3. And then I remember there was a lot of like green. Oh, wait. Oh, I wrote this down actually. Hold on. Red, turquoise, and tan is what I wrote down. So, can I make a brush? Or I could just go. Is that turquoise? Hold on, let me look up turquoise. That is the worst spelling of turquoise I've ever done. I didn't know turquoise had 3 T's in it. That was crazy. That's not exactly turquoise. Okay, we're gonna fix the turquoise first. Hold on. Merge layers. It's like almost turquoise, but not exactly. There's got to be a little more green. Where's the green? Not too much, just enough. There. That's basically it. A little darker. That's basically it right there. Okay. And then we get the tiles. So we're going to, is that the tile? Yes, that's the tile. Copy, paste. We're going to merge these two. We're going to copy. We're going to paste. Okay. Just for the sake of time, I'm gonna do this, but it was more intricate. Anyway, so then let me check something real quick. Hold on. Okay. That's basically it. Okay. We did that. Okay, so then we got that. Those are the tiles. And now I'm going to go ahead and hold on. There was another the ladies had white dresses on, and then some of them had black dresses on as well. And then the men had burgundy suits. So we're gonna just draw a couple of the ladies. This is the outline of a white dress. This is the outline. I'm just gonna do a white dress just for fun. Okay. Another white dress. Oops. she's rather voluptuous, so that's that's okay. Hopefully this doesn't mess the entire game up. Oh, it did. It did. Yep, there it goes. Okay. It's white. Look, see, it's white. Ta-da! And then the burgundy. It's more red. I think that's burgundy. Okay, so we're gonna give this guy, that's more brown, but you know what? I don't care right now. Burgundy, and then he had a belt, and then their arms kind of went around here, and that was the arm of the suit. And then that was sort of like the arm right there, and then we did that, and that was really cool and fun. So they were all running around. They were literally just jumping around in circles like this, but they were all going in the group there. So I'll do another one. I'll do another one over here. Doing all this and having some fun with it. And I kind of went down there. There was the belt. And then there's that. And then these hilarious little pants. Yeah. And then this one was naked, I've decided, because I don't want to do more. But that was essentially that. And then there was copy, paste. And we're going to flip that. Not horizontal. That literally didn't do anything. Clockwise. Here we go. Copy, T. Something like that. Something like that, and then we'll just go ahead and copy that one again, if I can find it. Copy, paste, T. Oops. A little bit of something up there. And then I may be too lazy, but this kept going up pretty high, and then all I remember is that there was this little dome. We're gonna just kind of draw. So the building kind of goes up here. I'll just do a little drawing just for fun. I'm getting tired after explaining all of what I was explaining earlier. So there was like it was the line, the line of the building that was up there, and then there was this dome. Okay, so you can't really see anything else up here except for like kind of like sky. But I do remember that there was this dome, and it was a very like kind of modern one. So let's kind of do some like modern dome, and then you know how it goes. You know what domes look like. And then that kind of goes there and does the thing. And then so the street's right here. Okay? Street goes around. Street sort of, he does this thing over this way. What are you saying? What? Sorry, my thing was giving me something. Just, yeah, it kind of stops right there. Let me go over there. But then I remember, you know, this is kind of further across the street. We go here, and it kind of goes down that way. But then there was a couple guys. There was like a little chair right here. I can do that better. There was a chair right here, and there was a guy sitting in the chair, and then there was another guy in another chair sitting right next to him in the chair. And they were both just kind of chilling out, hanging out. He's got a little happy face. And they were both just looking at, like, the cars going by or whatever. So there's, like, a car right there. Car right there. It's the most, like, European car I've ever seen. Car right there. And essentially, and that was it. And then we're going to, just to be Hollywood about it, we're going to do a filter over it because... Oh, wait, the sky. I forgot about the sky. Hold on. I'll just drop down the color first, but like, colors here, hold on. Soft light, and then the sky was this very blue. Even a sky blue, if you will. And so we kind of went there with it, and then we're gonna, you know what the sky looks like. Ooh, man, Photoshop doesn't like that. Oh, this is gonna be horrible to save. I think I'm gonna have to shrink everything down. So anyway, this was essentially the dream. This is essentially it. I just remember the most significant part was the people like in the little crab form jumping around in circles. I really could make this line a little bit more. Could I? Wait, can I? Can I? Oh, of course, they're all individual. Up to there. Nope, not duplicate. I don't think I did that right. Anyway, regardless, it all makes sense. And that was essentially the dream. I remember the dome. I remember this. I remember the people dancing around. The big door, the driveway, and I was standing right, like, I was standing there looking up at it all. I was down the stairs here. The perspective isn't exactly right, but sue me. So that was it. Tonight's stream, it's gonna be a little short. We're actually about an hour 30, so that's perfect. You know, it's been pretty good. And yeah, that was it. That was the outline of the project for the project of Spain coming up. And yes, if you have any questions, I don't know when you're watching this. It could be today, it could be 2 years ago. I don't know, dude. I got no freaking ideas. Nonetheless, this is what it is. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Now, 5 years from now, 5 years ago, who knows? Thank you very much. I'm gonna go do something with my hair now, and I'm gonna go outside and get drunk, probably. It's the day before Thanksgiving, also. I want to point that out. I'm not just getting drunk on a Wednesday. I have a reason. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye. Happy Thanksgiving.